This hair, it's crazy. It just does what it wants to do. So there's that. Good morning. Hey, happy Thursday. How are you? It is a good day today. It's a much better day today. So I was like, okay, um, I was thoroughly ticked with TikTok because, and I am slowly but surely migrating over here because I just can't. I can't. The foolishness that goes on over there is unreal. But I did want to go live this morning before I got started with my day and what it is I'm doing, because this weekend is definitely going to be epic. The Tennessee Titans are going to be in Cleveland. We will finally get to see Cam and Shedeur instead of them duking it out in practice with their coach. We will finally get to see them. Hi, VJ to you. Good morning. We'll finally get to see them duke it out across the line from each other. And I'm really excited. I'm excited for both of them because this season has not been very welcoming to them. Um, in a lot of instances, Cam was the first draft pick, and he and Shedeur were both supposed to go no later than 3. So it was either going to be Cam 1, Shedeur 2, or either Shedeur 1, Cam 2. Either way it went, the manner in which the NFL draft unfolded and what we saw, we've never seen that before. And so, yeah, that was diabolical. Well, now we've done full circle. The season is now here. Um, Lots of people said before this matchup that Shedeur Sanders was not going to see the field at all. And well, here we are. And he is going to play, and he is going to play against Cam. Um, I am excited to see it because we've watched them as they've come up when they work out with their private coach. We've seen the banter and the back and forth of them, so they're both very competitive. It is a competition between two really good quarterbacks. They push each other to be the absolute best that they can be. They are genuinely friends and equally supportive of each other. So to see them line up against each other on the line is going to be very interesting. It is definitely going to be a battle of the gladiators. So much to say. A lot of people have been talking about Cam Ward of late and his lackluster performance. And I'm going to say this in reference to that. Cam Ward is a rookie quarterback, and his performance, understand the quarterback's position is a singular position that's the head of the team. There's a lot of dynamics that go into making a successful football team, as we clearly have seen up close and personal with Cleveland Browns. Are there some things that Cam can improve on? Quite definitely, yes. Good morning, Carolyn. Is he not a good quarterback? That is false. He is a good quarterback, and he is in his rookie year. And um, I think because the narrative has been set and so much attention and focus was on Shedeur Sanders and dismantling his reputation and what he's capable of doing, that there has not really been a adequate or appropriate bar set for what quarterbacks are supposed to do, specifically Black quarterbacks. This is not a narrative we are not unaccustomed to hearing. It happens all the time. There are quarterbacks, and then there's the Black quarterbacks, and I don't get that. A quarterback is a quarterback. Can they perform? Can they do the job? That's it. But we live in America, and here we are. So the expectations for Cam Ward and Shedeur Sanders have been all the way up here, and everybody else has just been, even though we watched the draft, we saw the talent pool that they were pulling from, and we watched how out of synchronicity they pulled these quarterbacks and sent them to the teams that they were going to go to. Now we've watched the NFL. There was not a lot of attention given to Cam. Everyone was so focused on Shedeur and why Shedeur should not be playing. And as Cam continued to play and get up to this point, now everyone wants to say that he's a bust. He is not a bust. He is a rookie quarterback who went to a team and performed based off of what the dynamic of his team was. Again, are there things that he can work on? Quite certainly. Does that take away from his natural talent? No. And I assure you, this Sunday, they are going to give it their all. You are going to see them walk out on that field. The intensity, the purpose, the sense of execution for everything that has been said about Cam Ward and Shedeur Sanders this entire year, what you're going to see on that field is just going to completely wipe all that out, because they know there is this thing. And Shedeur, you've probably heard Shedeur say it, is your Wi-Fi on? Meaning, are we connected? They are definitely connected. I am certain there has been conversation between them privately, via text messages and phone calls. They are never short of having conversation with each other and pushing each other to where they need to go. So this Sunday, this game is going to be extremely dynamic. Defense is going to be charged. I know Myles Garrett, as the captain of the team, as well as the leader of the defense, he is going to make certain that Cam doesn't get any yardage. We know this already. That is Myles. We know that already. And the rest of the defense is going to fall in line. Now, what is the offense going to look like? My God, today. And that's a perfect segue to get into this next deal, because I've had an opportunity in the midst of everything else to look at some of the film from the game and really look at the film and look at, the things that people say, because everyone will say that Cleveland doesn't have an O-line and Cleveland's offensive players are yada, 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 yada. Well, opinions are opinions, but when you look at the film, and it is very apparent that there are a lot of people on the Cleveland team who are not teammates. There was a particular play. Shedeur is under center. He pulls back, and there's a gentleman, and I didn't get his number, but you can find the film because they're talking about it. He did this winged squirrel kind of move where he jumps forward and spread arms and legs and literally did a uniform belly flop. I have never in my life seen an O lineman defend, protect the quarterback that way. And I'm going to say that wasn't defending or protecting your quarterback. It clearly left a broad hole open. But that's not the first time we've seen that with this O line. Thank you, Moni Conklin. This is not the first time we have seen that with the O line. Y'all definitely keep liking and sharing and subscribing. I appreciate it. It's not the first time we've seen this with the O line with Cleveland. We've seen this, and not just with Shedeur. We've seen it, period. But I will tell you this. When Fun Size was out there was a difference. There was a difference in how they were moving. We just weren't paying attention to it much because we were so drawn into what Fun Size was not doing as the quarterback. So there's that. Yeah. The next thing is I don't think, no, I can see. Everybody on the Cleveland team does not want to win, and you can't tell me otherwise. Miles Garrett wants to win. Shedeur Sanders wants to win. Wyatt Teller wants to win. David Njoku. What's that, 4 people? Everyone else is playing as if, eh, or maybe they got a manila envelope too. I don't know. But Jerry Jeudy does not want to win. No. We're clear. He is an op. We're clear. He is an op. But he is not alone. Now, a lot of people came down on Gage, Lavardian, Malachi, Corley. And I'm going to say this because I've seen both of those gentlemen play. And when they were pulled from the practice team to come in and perform, they performed well. Now, I really don't know those gentlemen. I didn't follow them in their previous careers prior to coming to the NFL. But I can say that the entire time that Malachi and Gage were on the practice team and were practicing with Shedeur, when they pulled them up and they came in the game and they were playing with fun size, they performed. You can go back to those games and you can see it. I don't know what the conversation is, what promises are being made, or whatever, but I can tell you this: everybody on the Cleveland Browns team is not interested in winning. They are not interested in succeeding, and that is evident in the way that they play. Two things can be true at the same time. I think all of them are energized. I do not think all of them understand why they are energized and the focus and the point, because the mindset and the mentality of that team historically has been to lose, period. So winning is a fathom thought. It sounds good and it looks good on paper, but to actually execute it, what does that mean and what do we do? That's a very big problem because you have someone like Kevin Stefanski, who is the head of this team. He would like to think that he is a playmaker and that he is an excellent coach and he has the ability to develop players. And I am going to say false in every category. And I'm going to say false in every category for this simple reason. Kevin Stefanski has never been an offensive player. He was a linebacker. Now, that is not to say that as a linebacker, you do not understand the positions of offense. But remember this: your brain is a memory muscle. It moves based off of what it has been taught in the moment or what it is accustomed to doing. If you've been a defensive player all your life, you're going to move as a defensive player, i.e., why he wants to push his defense to make points versus his offense. There is that. Kevin Stefanski has always been the kid that was last picked on the playground. So he has some psychological issues in terms of acceptance, approval, and where he fits in the scheme of things of all the big kids at the popular table. He demonstrates that all the time. Everything that he does is moved from a place of emotion, narcissism, and his ego. He is definitely not looking out for what is in the best interest of his team, his locker room, or the Cleveland Brown organization. He can't see past that because the only thing he sees and hears is his voice and what he wants to do. Now, it was okay when nobody was really paying attention. It was okay before the internet aunties, uncles, and cousins showed up and was like, wait a minute, what are you doing? That doesn't make any sense, and you're lying. We clearly can see the stats. We clearly can see the difference in the performance. So what you're saying, it doesn't match. Okay, well, when you cannot successfully convert, convince, and deter people to what you think and what you say, then you have to have other people to enable and support that narrative. Enter the chat, Mary Kay Cabot. Enter the chat, Miss Aditi on the sidelines. enter in the chat the Cleveland Brown journalism community. So we're going to build up this narrative that is going to support the fact that I really don't like this quarterback. I didn't want this quarterback on my team. But I do like this one, and I want this one to play. And it doesn't matter how he performs. Don't worry about that. This is the quarterback that I want to play. The only problem with that is that the quarterback you wanted to play was so inadequate in so many areas that you were just unable not to see it. First of all, Dylan Gabriel is short. That is a problem. It's not personal, it is a problem. He can't even see over his center. There is that. The next thing is your quarterback can't throw. He cannot throw past 10, 15 yards. And when he does throw, his accuracy is shot. It's a shot. So you've lost all these games. You've tried to push the narrative. Now your general manager enters the chat and is like, no, that's not what we're going to do. So he does the inevitable and he trades the two veteran quarterbacks. Okay, if I trade these two veteran quarterbacks, that will give us a position where the other rookie will be able to play. Well, then Kevin Stefanski gets real smart and says, nope, he's injured. He's not going to play. The meantime, all of us are like, wait a minute, what? He was sacked 95 times in 2 years, and you're telling us his arm, his arm is sore. Okay. Then you tell us his back. How? He's throwing to the Gatorade and the Water Boys. He's not even out there practicing with everybody. When did that happen? At every turn, Kevin Stefanski has perfectly tried to orchestrate a narrative or a fixation on something that would alleviate Shedeur Sanders being able to play. Now we got a big problem because the quarterback that you really want to play, he talks too much. Him and Hun Bun at home are running off at the mouth. She's online, dropping bits and spilling tea, and almost got away with it because we weren't really paying attention to her until somebody said, look at them captions. And we did. And even in that, people were like, that don't make any sense what she's saying. Oh, yes, it does. It makes perfect sense. So then we had to roll it back, and we went back into all of her social media platforms and went through every last caption that she has ever written. And we discovered that, Dylan Gabriel has been telling her everything this entire time because there's no way she could come up with that unless she was talking to him. He told her. Loose lips sink ships, but it doesn't stop there. So now we've got a firestorm. We've got the potential leak about red shirting. And for everybody that tried to come into my post and tell me that red shirting is not really something, it is what they just say. No, it is not. Google is free. YouTube is too, unless you subscribe to YouTube Premium. You red shirt in the NFL means somebody has been injured and they need to sit out. They normally go on the injured reserve list. That's what red shirting in the NFL means. Thank you. So now your hot mic was on and folks have excerpts from that conversation between your coaches. Well, how are you going to talk about redshirting somebody and they haven't even played yet? Well, i.e. come in the arm and the back and the manufactured injuries. Okay, there is that. Then the next thing is you're benching the quarterback who's outperforming everybody, including Kenny Pickett and Joe Flacco, as well as Dylan Gabriel. It's documented. But again, it's Cleveland. So nobody is really paying attention. Nobody is really paying attention. It's just Cleveland. They lose all the time. They have a horrible coach. It's always like that. No, because the situation here is not only do you have a phenom rookie quarterback who can perform and has the ability to play, he's not saying anything. Whatever he's asked to do, he's doing it. He's not in the tabloids. He's not on social media saying anything negative. And even if you pose a question to Shedeur with a negative tone to it, he checks you right at the door. So you have a rookie phenom quarterback who is loyal, can play well, and is biding his time. Now everybody is really looking at Cleveland and is like, wait a minute, what's going on over there? Kevin Stefanski is still busy because he now can see they know. They know. We do. Yeah, we do. Not only do we know, we've decided to do some homework and come to find out there is a lot of potential for you to be canned. So why are you not? They're talking about firing Mike Tomlin. They fired Callahan. Why does Kevin Stefanski still have his job? How? Well, in the whirlwind of this, Kevin Stefanski does what all narcissists do when they think they are caught. They continue to create diversion and distraction. Enter the chat, Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson is never going to see the field in Cleveland again. Mark my words. Deshaun Watson is a distraction. The conversation about Deshaun Watson is a distraction because your loose lip fiance of the quarterback you really wanted to play then opened up a can of worms that got everybody looking and listening. The other thing is now we done found out there's some clauses that can actually get you canned, get you out of here. So now you're trying to save your job, save your reputation. And in doing so, you throw into the chat the one thing that's going to have everybody doing this. What? I'm not even going to talk about football. Let's just pay attention to some things. When was the last time anybody said anything about Deshaun Watson? Bought a Deshaun Watson jersey? Demanded to see Deshaun Watson play? Unfortunately for Deshaun Watson, the last time that there was really some serious conversation, it was not very positive. As a matter of fact, it was extremely legal and the type of legal no man wants to ever have his name attached to. So pray tell, why did you think if you brought up Deshaun Watson and you're talking about he's at practice? Okay, he's at practice. Does Andrew Berry and Jimmy Haslam know? Good morning, everyone. Continue to like and share and subscribe. Like, but this is the behavior of a narcissist because they don't think past themselves. They get an idea, they think it's good, and they think because they said it's a good idea, you're going to say it's a good idea. But now we've got some other problems because before we had a locker room that was quiet and just kind of went along. Wyatt Teller enters the chat. Wyatt Teller's spouse enters the chat. The other wags are entering the chat. Wyatt Teller is like, ain't nothing wrong with me. That's very interesting that every player who stands 10 toes flat or demonstrates a support of Shedeur Sanders, they get benched, Wyatt Teller. They get waived, Luke, Tony Brown. I mean, we have the makings of a urban Agatha Christie murder mystery going on here. I'm just saying, you can go back. Tony Brown ensured that Shedeur Sanders' first step out of that tunnel and on the field as a professional football player was in his energy, and Shedeur was able to do what it is he does. And Tony Brown supported it as a vet and made sure that that happened. And the next thing we knew, Tony Brown was cut. Shedeur threw another one of his magical passes to Luke. And the next thing we know, Luke is cut. That pass was beautiful. The catch, imaginable. Cleveland hadn't seen that level of excitement in a good 20 years. And the next morning, Luke is out of here. Okay. Gage Lavardian spent the entire summer with Shedeur. Spent the entire summer with Shedeur, even went back home with him. And that's why when people are having this conversation about Gage Lavardian, and I'm saying, no, I don't think so. Not at all. But if you're the head coach and you're calling the plays, you have you have the power to call things that just make no sense at all. Like punting. Why are you punting when you should be throwing, sir? But I shared all of that to say this. Kevin Stefanski's goose is cooked and it is showing. And not only is Kevin Stefanski doing everything in his power to distract and divert our attention to the things that we're seeing. Here comes Mary Kay Cabot. Now, we're used to Mary Kay Cabot's constant flip flop, back and forth, back and forth. We're accustomed to her doing that. That's not surprising. But it's the other things that you're saying that just, how? Why do we need to see Dylan Gabriel play again? It is almost as if she is trying to convince everyone that what you saw in those 7 games, oh, it's not a bad thing. He's a rookie. We need to give him some more time. Because y'all have Cam Ward plastered up against the cross. He's a rookie too. He's had the same number of games. But the bar in which you're holding for Cam Ward and what you're holding for Dylan Gabriel, what's the difference? That's a rhetorical question. Everybody knows the answer to that. We don't need to see another game of Dylan Gabriel. If Dylan Gabriel is going to be kept on the Cleveland Browns so that he can develop, okay. But that has nothing to do with his ability to go out there and play. Because here is the thing, we don't care about opinions. And as an internet auntie who absolutely loves Shedeur and has watched him play since he was 4 years old, I am always excited to see him on the field. But his stats speak for him. He is at the bottom. He is at the bottom in terms of opportunities to play. And if you line his stats up with the other quarterbacks who've been playing all season, it's as if he's been right there. Because in 2.5 games, look at his stats. Good morning. Look at his stats. And this is someone who got the playbook 2 weeks ago. Just started learning and playing with his first team. Hello, Shelby. Hi, Stephanie. So, this measurement, this gauge of how these rookie quarterbacks are supposed to be playing, Shedeur Sanders has broken the mold in that, and you cannot do one size fits all. Each quarterback has to be measured and gauged by his ability, his skill set, and his execution of play when he's out there. Because it's very clear that when Shedeur Sanders gets out there, if his hands aren't tied and he don't have a blindfold put on him, that he is going to outperform everybody. He's going to outperform everybody. Now, I don't know what Cleveland's front office is going to do, but they've got a problem. And the NFL is trying to divert the attention to the problem at hand, lingering about the face mask. Okay, you're going to fine him, you're not going to fine him. Are you going to suspend him or not? But we still talking about what's going on in Cleveland. And the fact that the NFL is pretending like they don't see, that makes them complicit. I smell lawsuit. What say y'all, chat? I say lawsuit. You have all the evidence to say. Never mind just collusion. I say lawsuit. You knowingly have a person in your employ who is purposely sabotaging not just the player, but the organization itself. Mhm. You're dead last, so you're going to be one of the first teams to pick. So there's that. You make certain of that. But why are we still holding on to the coach? And other people will say, well, they don't want to, in the middle of the season is tanked. It's done. We're not going to the playoffs. Shedeur Sanders has had over 16 offensive coordinators in his entire career. His ability to adjust and align to a new coach is not a problem. Why is Kevin Stefanski still here? He is a pariah. He is a virus in that locker room. Why is he still here? Deshaun Watson is not a formative conversation. And I'm going to tell you why, because the money that Deshaun Watson is getting, the majority of it is guaranteed, whether he plays or not. So why would I put him out there with the potential of him getting hurt some more? And now I'm double liable to take care of him some more when I've already given him the biggest bag for a couch potato in history. Why would I do that? Why? And how can we have a conversation about firing Mike Tomlin of the Steelers, but we are not having a conversation about firing Kevin Stefanski? How, Sway? So now, either something is amuck or somebody knows something about somebody else. Because why are we still here? And it's not even about jerseys anymore, People gonna buy Shedeur Sanders jerseys. And Shedeur has his own merch, and it is fire, by the way. So there's that. So it's not even about that anymore. We don't even have to buy 12. We can go to twolegendarystore.com and support nephew. We can go to Well Off Forever and support nephew. So it's not even about the jerseys anymore. So you can't even use that. People tune into the Cleveland Browns because they genuinely want to see some good football, and they know number 12 is going to give it to you. He's going to give it to you. He is personable in that locker room as well as off the field. The community of Cleveland have received him. Again, I ask, why is Kevin Stefanski still here? One of these things don't match. And please don't anybody come and comment talking about they don't want to see another rookie head coach. Y'all have had several years of Kevin Stefanski. You mean to tell me you're not interested in taking a chance on somebody else that could potentially be better? Y'all suffering from Stockholm. This sounds real Stockholmish. Yes, it does. Y'all like losing? Y'all like mediocrity? You like the fact this man stands on the sidelines, can't nobody stand him, and he just goes back and forth. I don't even like watching his press conferences. One, because it just sounds like modeled, mumbled drizzle. If drizzle could talk, it would be Kevin Stefanski's monotone. We'll be better. We're going to get better. He sounds like the older brother of that character on King of the Hill. The only thing we can make out is we've got to be better. Sir, you've been saying that for 50, 11 years. You're not interested in being better. You're interested in doing what it is you want to do. You do not take care of your team. You're not interested in your team. And oh, yeah, the whole thing about the lunches. I don't know the validity of hello, beautiful. Yes, Boomhauer, him. Yes. Kevin Stefanski sounds like Boomhauer's older brother. Yes. And this whole thing about, going to lunch with Dylan Gabriel's parents. So allegedly you sent an invitation to Deion Sanders. I am hoping that that is just some internet lore. That's just a rumor somebody made up. But I will say this to that. Kevin Girl, in our community, it's a code, okay? There's certain things we just won't do. You cannot disrespect and mistreat us and then say, hey, let's meet up and do lunch or dinner. Now, I know in your community, you guys, y'all might do that. In our community, it's a no. And really, you don't want to meet up with us after you have disrespected us in the magnitude at which you have disrespected Shedeur Sanders. Because usually at that point, people are not interested in sitting down to have a meal. It's furniture moving. I'm just here to let you know, Kevin Girl. I'm just here to let you know that I'm hoping that that was a rumor and not any accuracy to that at all. The other thing is, if you don't know Deion Lewin Sanders, allow me to help you with that. There are two specific areas in his world that he will lose it and crash out behind. Her name is Connie Knight and his 5 children. Now, you don't have to know Deion, but I'm just going to give you that. Those two areas do not play with him about ever. And what all of us know, Shalimar Sanders is the baby chronologically, but in the Sanders family, Shedeur is all of their baby. He's the baby. They don't play about him. None of them. Let me say it again. None of them. From Deandra on down, they don't play about baby brother Shedeur. Okay? Out of all 5 of him, he is probably the most soft spoken in terms of he doesn't say a lot. He laughs, he jokes, he hugs, he likes to play. That's his demeanor. Now, Deandra, Bucky, Shallow, And even little Miss Bossy, you'll get some fire from them. Shedeur, hmm, he'll blow you off. He don't care. And for that reason, everybody in that family will go to the wood behind him. Yes, Evelyn, I saw that and I just was like, earlier in the chat, I mentioned that everybody that wears a Cleveland Brown uniform is not wanting to win. Miles Garrett, Shedeur, David Njoku, Wyatt Teller, they for sure, we know they want to win. Everybody else, oh, yes, 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 yes. I told y'all that they do not play about their baby brother. Bossy is the last one, and she thinks she's big sister to Shedeur. So you thought, allegedly from this rumor, that man was going to sit down at a table with you, eat your food? Let me tell you something else about our community we don't play. You can't do us dirty and give us food. We're not eating it. We don't give a damn where you got it from or who made it. You're up. I'm not eating nothing you put in front of me. Period. There's that. You know how many nights a lot of spouses and significant others went to bed with their stomachs and their backs clapping because they were like, hell no, I'm not hungry. No, thank you. See, everybody ain't gonna be bleaching clothes and scratching up cars and tearing up TVs and all of that. Mm-mm. So we know better. Oh, you mad? Don't even trip. I'll be back. But I ain't eating that. Yes, they are, Evelyn. And I was just saying that because everyone is wanting to say that Gage Lavardian and Malachi Corley are not really good. Yes, they are. They played exceptionally well. And they played exceptionally well because they practiced with Shedeur all summer. That part right there, Shelby. Mm-mm. Nobody in this community, we know the rules. We know the rules. And first of all, unless you come with a love offering and a sanctified apology, oh, we done. We real done. Mm-mm. Lunch or dinner? Are you serious? Are you serious? I don't think so. Mm-mm. No. Mm-mm. And who would want to sit down with you? You don't even look like you clean your fingernails or properly brush your teeth. You have royally disrespected. You won't even call that young man by his name. Do you know how disrespectful that is? How dismissive that is? You won't even say his name. Oh, you will now, because your ass is on fire. Andrew Barry is dog walking you right now. See, it was a real big gap in the marathon, but he didn't dog walk your ass down. So now you want to try to have some act right. Mm-mm. And then you say his name with the quickness and the slickness of an ice cube coming out of somebody's mouth. Shador. What? What did you say? I'm sorry, could you repeat that again? We thought we heard you say Shador. So now you will sabotage how people play. Like people wasn't going to watch and pay attention to the difference in the stats. The difference in the stats in that 49ers game was stark different. Okay? Stark different. They could have beat the 49ers. They could have beat the 49ers. Had they let Shedeur play and the ops on the team not been doing their sideline business, they could have beat the 49ers. Mm-hmm. They could have beat them. They could have beat a lot of teams. So that lets us know it's not your quarterback. And here's the telling. Here's what's very telling. Emmanuel Acho, who is prolific in being a master of the arts of cooning, is lambasting Kevin Stefanski. That's very telling. We have managed to allow a house hand come back out in the quarters and dine with us because he has flipped. Stephen is speaking out against Monsieur Candyland. It's bad, Kevin, when you flip a house hand. Because I am no fan of Emmanuel Acho. Mm-mm. None at all. His level of disrespect with Shedeur at the beginning, his undecisiveness, his insecurities, his inaccuracies, incompetencies were on full display. And after the draft, instead of a lot of Black men who used to play in the NFL standing up for Shedeur, demanding he be respected, they chimed in with the age old, now you knows he's goods to us. You's got to knows your place. It's 2025, not 1865. Are you retarded? It was disgusting. It was disgusting. And he wasn't alone. Shelby, this is why we have to put you in timeout, not his childbearing hips. Yeah, like nobody was watching you play when you played Acho. Now you got you a little podcast and you got some of the homies on your podcast and you sitting around there, and this is something he does that just drives me insane. He's talking, but he's doing this the whole time. He's talking like, didn't I say it right? Did you see what I said? Are you going to agree with what I said? Are you a man or what? Say what you mean and just put it out there. Looking all around buck-eyed. Steven, I don't like him. Never have. I didn't like the way him, Ryan Clark, Cam Newton, RG3, I didn't like how any of them did not stand in the gap for Shedeur as this whole nightmare unraveled. And I think I'm going to go back and post that video. Because I didn't like it. But see, this is where we messed up with Colin Kaepernick. This is how we didn't stand with Colin Kaepernick. And we watched the same thing happen to him. And we didn't say anything. Not all of us, but as a unit, we didn't stand up for Colin. Mm-mm. We listened to those narratives and we let other people come into our community and say whatever they wanted to say. And what made it worse is they thought because Colin is mixed, he is light, he should not be embracing his Black community or his Blackness. It disturbed them that he wanted to wear his hair big, that he wanted to get his hair braided. But they failed to tell all of Colin Kaepernick's story. And it wasn't until Colin told his own story that we were like, ooh, we owe him an apology. Colin was not cosplaying being a black man, he was being a black man. And from the time he was a little boy all the way through the NFL, like so many of us, he went along so he could get along, but he didn't like it. He was trying to figure out, how do I put a voice to it? And the people who raised him and was his family, he couldn't even go to them because they didn't understand it either. He didn't wake up one day and just want to wear braids. He was a regular teenage boy who was a fan of Allen Iverson and wanted to look like his superstar basketball player, just like the rest of the black boys in the neighborhood, and some of the white boys too. He knows what it's like to go to a hotel and be with other people and they not associate him with the group he's with. So his experience has been no different than ours. He just was a couple of shades lighter than the rest of us, and his hair was a little curlier. That's it. But even in that, he knew he had privilege that we didn't have. And instead of riding that privilege, he used it as a platform. And we turned our backs on him as a unit. Not all of us, but as a unit. We turned our back on him. And he warned us. And he told us that if we don't change how we demand that they treat them, that this is going to happen again. He told us that. And we dismissed it until this past April. And here we are with Shedeur. Except this time, Shedeur is not kneeling. Shedeur is standing 6'3", 220 pounds tall, 10 toes straight flat. He ain't kneeling. He ain't bending no knees. He ain't kissing no rings. He ain't quitting. He's not walking back anything that he believes in or he says. We've been here before. His name was Colin Kaepernick. Except the last time, Colin said, I'm sick and tired of people that look like me in my community being murdered and brutalized, and nobody is saying anything. And Thursday, Sunday, and Monday, I come out here and I get paid a lot of money to entertain some of the very people who are doing that. It's wrong. This fight with Shedeur is, you want me to accept what you say I should be, who you think I am. And I'm telling you, I'm not. And if it means I got to throw the Gatorade water boys, okay, that's what I'll do. I'll wait my time. That's what we're dealing with. Simple, same old, recycled, systemic prejudice, bias, racism. But this time, we did something different. This time, we didn't dismiss Shedeur. This time, we didn't fall in line and act like it's not a big deal. It is a big deal. Colin worked his whole life against a different set of odds. He deserved to play as a quarterback. And whether or not he was good or not, he deserved a chance. And we watched the system blackball and push him out and cast a narrative about him that was false. He's never done anything wrong in his life. He's a good person. He gives back to the community, and he now spends his time educating so people know how to protect their rights and themselves. So he wasn't being performative, and it cost him. It cost him his career. Well, this time we're not going to do that. This time we're not going to be dismissive. We're not going to let other people outside of our community write the narrative or determine what we should or we shouldn't do. Shedeur Sanders has worked his entire life to get to this point. It just so happens he's also the son of Deion Sanders. But we've all learned that even being the son of Deion Sanders doesn't mean you get a golden ticket. All five of them have had to earn their way. And that's even more reason why we love and respect them. Because aside from their bank accounts, they're raised and dealt with the same way the rest of us are. You hungry? You want to eat? You get up and you make something happen. Nobody is giving you anything. There is an expectation for excellence. That's no different than the rest of us. Our families are the same way. Which is why we can relate and we support them. And I'm very excited that Cam and Shedeur are going to meet up this Sunday. And for us, it is a celebration because we've been able to watch two young men work very hard to get to their dream. They work out together, they train together, they have the same quarterback coach, they are friends. And we get to see them play against each other. And it is a reason to celebrate. It is a reason to celebrate. Two very hardworking young Black men. They are rich, they are established, they are living their dream. They didn't lie, they didn't cheat, they didn't break a law. They worked hard, they earned it, and now they're going to go up against each other. That's amazing. That is absolutely amazing. And all the shenanigans that are going on in Cleveland. To all of the gentlemen who play on the Cleveland Browns team who are cosplaying football players, I'm going to say this to you. We don't know who told you or gave you or whatever. We don't know any of that. We just turn on our TV set, buy tickets, sit down, and we watch the games. But you go out there and you make the decision to play how you play. You know the difference between wrong and right. You hear and you see things. The choices you make, you will be judged for them. We may not even ever know what those things are, but God is always listening and seeing things, and you will be judged for them. And any of you that are lining up in front of Shedeur and making the choice to not do your job, I don't know if it's intentional because you want him to be hurt, or you're jealous because he's getting too much attention. Nobody is talking about you. I don't know. And none of those things really even matter. But what I can say is this: we all make choices, and we all have to deal with the consequences of our choices, good, bad, or otherwise. God is watching. I've always said that Karma is on a world tour, and she has taken a Vegas residency in Cleveland, Ohio. They ain't listening. They're not listening. Yeah, I saw him doing that winged bat squirrel move that nobody ever does in the NFL. Like, what were you doing? But it's telling things like that. I mean, if you film their games and you go back and look at the film, I mean, not look at the film as a fan, but pay attention to the plays, pay attention to what they're doing. How can you not say that they're throwing the games on purpose? There does need to be an NFL investigation. People are shaving. It's evident. I'm going to say it again. Lawsuit. I wonder if as fans we could file a class action lawsuit. Hmm. because the NFL is complicit. You have the film, you see it, so do we. All Kevin Stefanski is doing is setting people up to be traded. Not necessarily traded by the Cleveland Browns, but when the season is over, everybody and their mama is going to be running in the office with their agent talking about, we want out of here. We want out of here. And you have the potential of having a really good team. I mean, it's absolutely disgusting what is happening. And had this been a white player, there would have been an investigation a long time ago. There, I said it. So, Sunday is going to be epic. Very excited. Cam, Shedeur, and you know Miles is going to show up and do what it is he does. Hopefully, between now and Sunday, folks will find some integrity and some principle and a moral compass and do what they're supposed to do. There's nothing to say about Jerry Jeudy. We've turned our backs on him. He doesn't matter anymore. They can trade him. We don't care. You'll skip to a Malou dance and then you'll crash out on the sideline. Mm-mm. There's no comeback from that, homeboy. May the odds ever be in your favor. Then that Shiesty McShiesty stance you took in that press conference. First of all, anytime somebody's talking to you and they cross their hands, they cross their arms, that's a stance of defense. They're guarding something. They're guarding something or they're not telling the truth. So there's that psychological tip for everybody. The next thing is his answers. They were so disingenuous. We know they told you to say that. But we also know you won't never do that with Grown again. Because that young man stood up and let you know, don't let the jokes and the hugs fool you, homeboy. So there's that. Well, love bugs, that is that. Everybody go out and do great things. Get ready for Sunday. It's going to be epic. I'm so excited. As always, love bugs. Protect your peace and your mental health.